Across the United States, adults aged 65 and older are now the fastest growing population, resulting in expanded needs and awareness in our communities. Julie Thompson sat down with the directors of the Duxbury Senior Center, the Plymouth Center for Active Living, and the program director for Dementia Friendly Massachusetts to talk about age and dementia-friendly communities.
Good afternoon. Today's topic is age and dementia-friendly communities and how to become one. We're very lucky to have three very intelligent women on set today who have a lot of knowledge in this subject, starting with Patty Sullivan, who is the Program Director of Dementia Friendly Massachusetts. Welcome.
Thank you.
We have Michelle Brady, who is the Director of Elder Affairs for the town of Plymouth. Yes. And Joanne Moore, Director of the Duxbury Senior Center.
Thank you for having me today.
Thank you all for being here. Now, let's start with you, Patty. Explain this initiative to us. Why is it important to have a community that is age and dementia friendly, and how do you get there?
Well, an age and friendly and dementia friendly community, which we refer to as AFDF, is a community that welcomes people of all ages, from the youngest through the oldest. And we do that by offering all sorts of different supports for people at different points in their lives. So whether it's a curb cut for a mom who's trying to roll a stroller, up to somebody who needs a supportive day program, as we have in Duxbury, so that their loved one can be cared for during the day. So it's a wide range of services, and how do you become that way? Is that you ask your community what you need.
Okay.
And then we go from there.
Okay. So it's a holistic view of the community.
Yes.
And is this a new initiative, that it's fairly new in our state or in our country?
It is not a new initiative, probably 20 years of efforts. It started with the World Health Organization and continued on with a White House conference on aging that led to all of this. But we are very unique in Massachusetts in that under the last governor, we had gubernatorial support at the secretarial level, funding from Point 32 Health. Everybody was on board.
Okay.
And so it's easier to do things when everybody thinks it's a good idea.
Absolutely. And I will liken this to being a green community, that there were things set for, okay, to become a green community, this is what you have to do, and communities bought in right away and said, yes, we want to become a green community. So based on that, both Duxbury and Plymouth are in the process of going through this. Yes. So why don't we start with Michelle? Why don't you talk about the whole process that you're going through in Plymouth?
Sure. Amazing. So we in Plymouth created a senior task force. And that was senior focused, right? But we created that to really try to understand Plymouth, 55 plus, 40% of the population. It's a retirement destination. We recognize 18 and growing 55 plus communities. We have a large, vast senior population and a huge town to boot. So we wanted to create a senior task force that really didn't just want to address individual issues. We wanted to create a blueprint for future generations, for current generations, to say, how do we care for really people of all ages, because everyone's aging. Right?
Right.
How do we care for people in our community? Enter the senior task force. Out of that, which we have an amazing task force, but out of that, we really looked at how do we really care for people, and the age and dementia friendly designation covers everything that we want to accomplish in Plymouth. So we put our sights on becoming an age and dementia friendly community. That is our focus. There are so many incredible things that are going to come out of this. Our first stop, we're right in the needs assessment stage.
Okay.
Yeah, so you have to have a needs assessment, right? And Patty has been instrumental in guiding us. She's the guru, and you turn to her and she tells you what to do. And she does it wonderfully. So, but we hired UMass Boston
Yep.
It's not free, right? Needs assessment.
right.
We had funding through our town because our town is committed
Yep.
to making sure that we are a community that cares for each other.
Yep.
And so we've started the process. They're going to be interviewing key informants, which are town government, IT side of things, businesses in our community, just a wealth of categories, emergency response. This involves the whole community. So we're excited.
Okay.
We're really excited.
And Joanne, are you going through this? You're a little bit past this process,
So
right?
we're doing it slightly different, but some components are the same no matter what town does it. So as Michelle said, you submit a letter or request that you would like to become age and dementia friendly. You need to complete a survey. So how ours started is our number one goal of our long range plan is to be a welcoming place for all. So this welcoming committee took it on that they want our town to be age and dementia friendly. Unlike Plymouth, we are working with OCPC. We received a grant to work on the needs assessment and the survey. Our survey's just been complete, and we're pleased to say we had 1,548 respondents.
That's
so
pretty
that's
good.
about 10%
Yeah,
of our
that's great.
community. And I'm so thankful to the police, the fire, the schools, the Interfaith Council, the businesses. Everybody got involved and answered the survey. And what we said, just like Michelle and Patty said, it's about aging well for every person in the community. And what does our community need to look like? And what do we need to plan for in the future so people can live well and age well?
Okay.
So we're waiting to get our survey results. We should be getting them in the next 2 weeks, and then we'll move to the next phase, which is also the key informants, and also having some focus groups. And then that welcoming committee will analyze the results, and then we'll share it with town officials, and we'll go from there.
So what is the criteria to become an age and dementia friendly?
The criteria is pretty broad.
Yeah.
In the sense that we have it to accommodate, in our case, 351 towns.
Right, right.
So you have to, first of all, as a community, sign a commitment to say, yes, I want to do this.
Yep.
And my next question to these two is that I want them to talk a little bit more about who is involved in their work, because that's very important.
Right.
Then you have to do the assessment. You have to set forth a plan about how you want to move forward based on the needs of your community. Then you have to make a commitment to do the work, and then you're good to go. And AERP, MCOA through Dementia Friendly Massachusetts designates the communities, and then we support them.
And what does the support look like? Is this, I mean, the bottom line is what am I going to get out of this as a community who gets this designation?
Oh boy, I could talk for hours on that, and I could bring in many.
Is there an overall bullet list of?
The bullet list, it's not really a bullet list, because when I walk, and I literally, you can look at the mileage on my car and you can see where I've been and what I'm talking about. But you walk into a community and the high school students have all been trained to be dementia friends. They understand how to talk to their grandparents. Their grandparents now call the senior centers. So that's just one example. Then you move on to the churches.
Yeah.
We do the same thing. I mean, we do it sector by sector by sector.
Okay.
I mean, a very common example is to see libraries get involved in this initiative. They see changes in people, and they watch people age, and they support them.
Exactly.
So I could go on for hours, as you could see. But what I really want to emphasize, though, is that who are on your task forces? Because this isn't just the senior center.
Right, right.
This is a huge gathering of people. So talk about that a little bit.
Go ahead. Who's on your task force?
Well, the task force is amazing, but for Plymouthians, you should know that this also generated our select board recently adopted their goals.
Yep.
Age and dementia friendly community is one of the select board goals.
Yeah.
Our town manager is 100% behind this. So town government really is buying into this and supporting us. Our senior task force has the executive director of the Mass Council on Aging, the executive director of Old Colony Elder Services, select board Harry Helm, who started this initiative, the Senior Task Force,
Yep.
through a conversation, him and I. Amazing. You have BID, Director of Clinical Services. You have marketing, the communications person at BID. Joanne Moore is on the Plymouth Senior Task Force. She's a resident of Plymouth, and she's amazing. What an addition. To businesses, Amy Naples, Executive Chamber of Commerce. She's on the Senior Task Force. Barry de Blasio's on the task force. So many people have come together. Dave Hood, Kevin Hood, Hood Construction, businesses. They're there. You can feel it, and Joanne is my witness. They want to be there. They're truly invested in this movement, in this community. And it's incredible. It's incredible to see. I have so many members of my advisory board who are who have worked with seniors forever, Senior Voices. They're there. They're at the table. Amazing.
Great.
And I would say similar, so it's community members, board members, staff. We'll do the key informants, so it will be our town manager, our selectmen, our first responders, the school, the interfaith council. It really is a community effort. You don't do this in a silo because everyone needs to buy into the process so we can move it forward.
Right.
So we're really excited. It's really going to change how the community lives.
Right. Have you seen success stories that you can point to in any communities that are way past where these two communities are?
Absolutely. I can get back in my car and travel. Bill Ricca has been doing this for about 10 years.
Wow, okay. Talk about that.
And so Bill Ricca has, I guess the sort of hallmark of their work is that they now have this huge group of people who all come together to support their initiative. And every year they have Dementia Day in Bill Ricca, and they have probably 100 people come in, vendors, who are very involved in the effort, and the place is packed. People know that it's a resource that's available to them.
And that's the big point, right? That this is a resource.
This is a resource. We're here to help you.
Before we went on air about there's a stigma or a misunderstanding about what the needs are of people that have any kind of memory or dementia issues. And it's not something that happens just like that, like you have a heart attack, you had a heart attack. This is something that happens very slowly as you age, and we all are aging to our points.
Right.
So if I hear all of you, and tell me if I'm wrong, the first thing we have to get everybody to understand and buy in is that this is a holistic community approach to a part of life that we are all going through and will be going through.
Right, yes.
No one escapes it.
Right. Or your mom's going through, or your aunt, or yourself, or yes.
And I love the fact that you take this to your own home and to your own family, and how do you take dad out to dinner, or what would make it easier when you take an aging father out to dinner, or to an event. And the more people that understand how to not deal with or treat, but how to react to or interact with people that have any kind of age or dementia issues, the better off we're all going to be.
Right.
Well, the key is, and this is sort of the core of the work that Age and Dementia Friendly does on the dementia side, is we raise awareness about dementia, so it's okay to talk about it. We educate people about how to communicate, how to talk to, how to engage people living with dementia, and then we help communities sort of make modifications to their physical infrastructure so that people living with dementia are able to vote or go to the post office or go to the library or any of the things that we all hope to do as we get older. But it means that I say this all the time, I give people a pair of glasses, and it's a lens that you put on, and whether it's your town planner or whomever in the community, I want people to look at their world through that lens. Right. And it's not challenging, and once you get it, people say, oh, okay, that's not. It's not a heavy lift.
Bad. Right. We can do this.
It's truly not a heavy lift.
Right.
It's just thinking a little bit differently about the world.
So when we talk about the practical benefits to communities going forward, The adult daycare programs that are available, memory cafes, all these kinds of things that can be put into a community that, yes, cost money, so we'll have to talk about how are these things funded, how can people support, how can people volunteer, and there's so many aspects of this that we could love to go into in full detail, but we'll have to do that when you get your 2 surveys done, and you see, okay, here's our results, what's next?
Right, and I think what's going to be interesting is our survey results may be the same top 3 items that we need to work on, or they may be completely different based on the town and what the community says is important. And so it's so important when you get that letter for Plymouth in the mail or the survey online, take time to answer it. We need to hear from everyone.
Right.
It's important.
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
It's
All right.
unique to your own community.
Exactly.
And we want we want to hear your voice.
Okay, that's important, right? Because everyone wants their voice to be heard, too. Yeah.
And we're asking for it.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Closing remarks.
I just want to say that I have plans for these 2 women. They don't know it yet.
Okay.
There's more
I'm not
coming.
surprised.
Everybody in the community has a role to play here.
Yep.
Whether you're an elementary school student or a senior or everything in between. And no matter what you do in the community, you have a role here, and we'd like your help.
That's great. Thank you so much. This conversation will continue. I'd like to thank Joanne, Michelle, and Patty. Thank you for watching.
We will be bringing you lots more on this topic as we launch a new series this spring about the issues, experiences, and wisdom that comes with aging. The new series is called Looking Forward, and we can't wait to share it with you.
Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like and subscribe button below before you go. We'll see you next time.